Okay, let's see. Let's see. OBS, showing good connection. YouTube. YouTube is live. Okay. I'm gonna do the usuals. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. Okay, and copy those. Okay. What the heck? I'll let the Discord know I'm awake. Why not? Okay, that's my advertisement done. Let's go. Stream's been going for 2 minutes. I'll give it another minute, see if anybody shows up. And if not, we'll just get right into it. Sorry for the short stream the other day. God, I hate games that don't. Like, why am I locked to the fucking keyboard in Shadow of Mystera? Why? What is the sense in that? The fucked up thing is I'm pretty goddamn sure I played that with a friend on Steam, and one of us could use the controller. In fact, I think because I set him as the main person, he had to use the keyboard. I got to use the controller. What the fuck even is that? I don't understand. All right, let's get back into it. So we got 2 exclamation points. Financial report from Gassam and changes the law. Let's see what's going on with Gassam. The highly anticipated report from Gassam has arrived. Ministers Simon Hole and Gus Menger undermine the significance of this document as it outlines the return on our state-held shares, thus reflecting the recent performance of one of the nation's pivotal economic energy drivers. The Treasury will receive a transaction if there are positive returns. Low returns plus 1 government budget. I mean, we're already at -4. A -3 isn't going to do much for us, so we don't need profits. Not yet. Lucian and I sat in my office, waiting for Peter. I was at my desk, and he was on the sofa, legs crossed. Sir, I have some news for you. Mr. Hall and I have been working on several possible plans to boost the economy, as is our focus. He is currently compiling a very detailed report with suggested projects. I'll make sure you have a chance to see it soon. He looked at his watch again. Looks like Mr. Vice President is late yet another time. He lowered his voice. I am slightly concerned about Peter. He seems to have his mind occupied. He's been late to almost every meeting we've had recently. I noticed it too. I need to talk to him in private sometime. I know Peter well. There is nothing to be concerned about. I don't know what's wrong, but I also do not appreciate him being late all the time. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. It was Peter. He walked inside with files in both hands. Gentlemen! Welcome, Peter. Have a seat. Finally, let's begin the meeting. Why are you so late? We were stuck in traffic all around Seoul Square. There was a whole gaggle of ladies trying to organize an illegal march. We had to wait for the police to show up. He placed the files on my table, took out several documents, and organized them in front of me. Here's everything, just as you asked. Our plans for our next reforms. Here are some suggested reforms. You can pass these with decrees as you like. What are your thoughts, Anton? I have a few ideas myself. Let's go over the documents. I took a look at the documents. You can select up to 3 decrees to enact. Fuck yeah, Second Amendment, let's go! A well-functioning militia being necessary to a free state, the right of the people to own and bear arms shall not be infringed. Shall not be fucking infringed. America, fuck yeah! Purged the general staff. Relocation of teachers and doctors to rural areas. Remove independence of the central bank. Kill the central bank. Remove religious symbols from the public. Amnesty for all Seoul-era political prisoners. Abolish the special zone of Bergia. Ooh, that one right there. Yeah, we need. Desalinization. Fair Trade and Competition Commission. Gender equality in education. Allow private prisons. Rural education institutes. Free prescription medicine. Lower retirement age. Supreme Council of Swedish Radio and Television. Enact value-added tax. I mean, that one right there. Under the Bergia Standardization and Unity Measure, the special status of Bergia is proposed to be abolished. BSUM endorses transitioning from a governor's rule to city-based mayoral elections, while revoking Bergia's special zone status. The implementation of standard national laws and policies will be promoted to facilitate Bergia's full integration into national governance. You do not have sufficient decree powers. God damn it! That's what the X means. so I can only pass the stuff that doesn't have the X. No! 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 Hello, Baron. How are you? No! I want it. I want it. I need it. Allowing you assholes self-determination and freedom was a fucking mistake. I will force you to own and bear arms, you sons of bitches. Gun rights you can't even do with normal decree powers. Okay. So, I guess we choose 3 out of 4 from the ones we can do. Fair trade, competition, free prescription medicine, low retirement age, and Supreme Council of Swedish Radio and Television. What the fuck is Supreme Council? Freedom of speech is protected in Switzerland, but the rise of new media private organizations gain a massive influence on society. With a new decree, we could create a government agency, the SRSC, that could protect the independence of the media or control it. So wait, we create NPR? That's what we call it in America. NPR. Government-funded media. You either censor the press or break up Coronti's media monopoly. Oop, hang on. Oop. There we go. Sorry. Just doing a little adjustment there. Trade and commerce in Swordsland has few regulatory measures, resulting in unfair competition at times. A new Fair Trade Commission can be established by decree to push for fair market competition by protecting local industries through new regulations. Prescription medicine in Swordsland is partially paid by the Ministry of Health according to the importance of the medication. A new decree would allow all citizens to get their medication completely for free. Requires one government budget. One government budget? We're already in the red. What are you trying to do to us? The retirement age of requires 2 government budget. The retirement age of Swordsland has been increased to 65 in the mid-40s due to economic stagnation. The older voting blocs are requesting a decree. Our administration can pass a decree that would lower the retirement age to 60. Okay, well, I don't think we can spend money here. We're already at -4. I mean, this doesn't cost us anything. Antitrust and monopoly laws. That is sticking it to Tusk. I mean, this doesn't cost us anything, and I guess this sounds like a good idea. So I think we'll sign this one. Yeah, we'll sign this one. Are you sure about signing this decree? Yes. Supreme Council of Swedish Radio and Television. Trade and commerce in Swordsland has few regulatory measures, resulting in unfair competition at times. The New Fair Trade Commission can be established via decree, push for fair market competition by protecting local industries through new regulations. Yes. Free prescription medicine. I mean, I'm not a fan of state-sponsored anything, so no. Lower retirement age, well, just that's entitlement shit. So, because those two cost money, and philosophically I disagree with them anyway, I think I'm not gonna pass those. So I passed 2 of 3. It's not gonna make us pass all 3, is it? Because the other ones we can't do anything with. They're all X'd out. Are you sure you're done with the degrees you want to enact? Yes? Following a brief discussion, I took notes about my decisions. I don't know. That's a good question. The Fair Trade Commissions will be essential in dealing with the monopolies. It was time we established a body that regulates economic competition. I very much support your decision to form a regulatory body for radio and television. Television is the future. It's great that we all understand this. It will definitely help us have an influence on new media. So, how will you structure the Supreme Council of Swordfish Radio and Television? I want them to be independent and only regulate the content according to some standards. We will have control over the council, which will have control over the media. You see where I'm going with this? Wow! If you're in the red, you should be able to do so. It has to be something else I chose then. It was X'd out, so whatever I did at some point X'd it out. I want them to be independent and only regulate the content according to some standards. Understood. Well, we both respect your decisions, Anton. There is one more thing. He placed a stack of paper in front of me. Miss Graff has sent you the plans for the abolishment of the special zone. We can still try running it through the assembly if you decide to sign it. Sign the documents. It's too late now. You can take it back. The assembly will not pass it anyway. I'd rather not take a popularity hit at this stage. I won't sign it. Wait, so we can get rid of the special zone now? Let's fucking do it. I signed the documents. All right, it's the Assembly's decision now. But now that everything's settled, I should get to work. We'll catch up soon. Lucian looked at his watch. We actually have 6 more minutes. But very well, let's call it here. Thank you both. Assignment completed. The Bergia Standardization and Unity Measure. The B-Sum Bill has been passed by the GNA. Bergia Standardization and Unity Measure. The Bergia Standardization and Unity Measure, dubbed as the B-Sum, outlines the course for the full integration of Bergia into national governance. advocating for uniformity in governance and reinforced sense of national unity. The Grand National Assembly passes the following steps. Section 1 endorses the abolishment of the governor's position, transitioning to mayoral elections within each city. This change aligns Bergia's local governments with the rest of the nation, fostering a sense of unity and national integration. Section 2 calls for the total revocation of the special zone, abolishment of the position of governor, and dissolving the local security forces. With these measures, Bergia can finally be an equal part of Solent. Section 3 promotes the enforcement of standard national laws and policies across Bergia, dismantling the current semi-independent security structure. The security of the region will henceforth be under the full control of the Ministry of the Interior, curtailing any unacceptable violence. Yeah, why is this costing us money? What the fuck? Well, okay, theoretically, restructuring and... yeah, I mean... like, it half makes sense to me, but it also, like, what? Fuck the special zone, let's go! Trade talks with the Chancellor of Valksland. SRS Hallsword, Port of Lakeven. Midnight was approaching as our delegation boarded the SRS Hallsword. The large ship was once the royal yacht of King Egmont himself. By the order of Saul, it was repurposed to serve the leaders of Swordland for state visits. We departed from the port of Lakeven along with a few other smaller escort boats. I entered the luxurious compartments reserved for heads of state. I lay down on the bed and rest my eyes before we arrived at Wilburn, a major city in Valksland. The Marchian Sea was known for its treacherous waters, but tonight's trip promised to be rather calm and quiet. Still, I couldn't sleep. I went out to the upper deck to have some fresh air. A light breeze was blowing, and I relished its briny smell. There was nobody here except David. My foreign minister was leaning over a railing, gazing out at the inky waves. "Mr. President, I'm surprised you were still up this late." I could say the same thing about you. Good point. I used to feel that sleep was wasted time. Why spend 1/3 of one's life in the dark? I rather appreciate it now, but there's still something special about being awake while the rest of the world has its eyes closed. Do you mind if I ask why you can't sleep? Are you also worried about the future all the time? I'm an old man, Mr. President. I've been alive for over 70 years. I spent most of those years worrying about various things endlessly. What I realized in time was that worrying is simply a part of life. As mankind, we are forever gullible, always reaching out for what we don't have. That includes the choices we could have made, and their results, which will never come to pass. I silently watched the horizon. I must go and try to sleep, Mr. President. I recommend you do the same. I will stay a little longer. Very well, and good night, I watched the sea for some more time before going back to my compartment to sleep. The dawn arrived, and our ship moored at the busy port of Wilburn. Amid the usual camouflages, our convoy made its way to the train station. After a short, uneventful ride, we arrived at the central train station of Helm, the capital city of Valksland. A huge crowd was already there, awaiting my arrival. They swarmed around me and took photos as I stepped out of the train. Our delegation met with various members of the Valkslandian cabinet before taking our cars to the royal palace. The flags of Valksland and the CSP were waving next to the entrance. Assistants took my belongings and led me to the museum wing. It was there that I saw Chancellor Hegel. He was inspecting a very large painting on the wall. Chancellor Hegel turned around. He was a man of small stature with a bald spot and striking visage. His famous pipe was in his mouth. He briefly scanned me from head to toe. We shook hands as he stared me down. Mr. Rain, welcome to Valksland. It's good to be here. Thank you. So where do we begin? He gestured towards the painting. This was made in 1776 by the famous Valkslandian painter Otto Kieburn. I looked at the painting. It must have been over 5 meters tall. It was a battle scene. On the left side there were banners carried by Valks. On the right, swords. Countless spears formed a triangle at the center. The sky was red from the blood. What do you think about it? I think that we have come far. After all, we are standing here side by side instead of facing each other on the battlefield. Nothing. It's just a painting. It is a reminder. One misstep and we are back to painting the world with more blood. As the leaders of this world, we must be careful, Mr. Rain. Especially around those who are willing and ready to do precisely that. We started walking. I must admit I've been watching your rule with worry. You accepted Arcadian aid and sold your sovereignty by letting them build bases. You started privatizing your economy and sold state assets to make the rich even richer. Your actions are as clear as day. I don't answer to you, Chancellor Hegel. Chancellor Hegel, please. Swordland's concerns are Swordland's alone. My hand was forced when I made those decisions. Hegel frowned. I sincerely hope you understand that the world doesn't work that way anymore, Mr. Rain. Perhaps in the past, but not anymore. Listen, Mr. Rain, you've come here for a trade deal. Then let's talk about your deal and we will call it a day. I expect nothing more. You have just lowered your chances of achieving a trade deal. I won't sit idly while you insult me. The deal is off. We are finished here. Good. Here is what I am proposing. I have no qualms about what has been negotiated so far. Swedish tungsten in return for Valksland's hard-earned money. It's a good deal, really. No, my problem is not with the deal itself. My problem is with you, Mr. Rain. It's with how you lead Swordland. You don't have to like me to trade with Swordland. Then it goes both ways, Chancellor Hegel. That's enough. I didn't come here to hear threats. We are done here. True, but I can certainly make your life harder. Let me tell you this, Mr. Rain. A trade deal between Valgsland and Swordland is possible. Let's hear it. What do you want? You have the gall to say that after all this? You are making it less likely with every minute passing. What I want is simple. Recognize Heligland as Valgslandian territory. I am ready to come to the table then. That's it? Sure. I will announce it as soon as possible. Why? What are you after? There is no way I can do that. Is that a yes or a no? Fine, deal. I reject. You're asking too much. So wait, that's that island next to Magnolia, right? Yeah, that's that island at the midpoint between the commies and the like kind of not commies. So he wants me to give them this entire fucking island. This is what? It wouldn't be Taiwan, or it wouldn't be no, it wouldn't be Taiwan. It would be more like Hong Kong. I'm not gonna give anything to the fucking commies. Fuck them. I'm late. Do it. You're not late. You're right on time. I reject. You are asking for too much. Suit yourself. Have a safe trip back home, Mr. Rain. He turned around and walked away, leaving me alone in the empty halls of the royal palace. Welp. Okay then. Private meeting with Peter Vectorn. It was a dark, chilly evening when Peter called and asked if we could meet. He gave no details. Only said that it was important. I drove alone through Halsford's suburbs until I reached the meeting point he named. 147 Wreck Avenue, number 26. Our old campaign headquarters, untouched since the night of the election. This was where everything began. I made my way up to the dusty staircase of the office building. The light in the second floor hallway was out, so I used a cigarette lighter to find my way to the wooden door marked 26. I pulled on the handle, but it wouldn't budge. The heavy door had always been a pain to open. Coming! Peter pushed on the door with all his weight and made a screeching sound as it opened. Without any further ado, I bid you welcome to this grand nostalgia trip, hosted by yours truly, Peter Vectorn. He made an exaggerated bow. The dust from the open door was still settling down. Feeling sentimental yet? Indeed. I haven't been to this place in ages. Not really. It's just an office. I remember it as being much cleaner. That's what time does to things, my friend. You're looking a little shabbier yourself than you did back then. Come over here. Remember this? He walked over to his old desk and pointed to the gramophone that had annoyed our neighbors and kept us company for so many late nights. Peter flipped the switch, and it filled the room with swing music from the 20s. I'll be damned, it still works! Are you going to tell me why we are here? So, what are we celebrating? I thought this office was sold off. In a bit, he put his hand under the desk and brought a bottle out. He took a swig out of it and passed the bottle to me. Aren't there any glasses? Drink. No, thank you. I feel like Peter just raised a death flag. I kind of want to drink just to support the guy. Darren, without the special police, how do you deal with the incident with Peter and Livia? Drink. Yeah, I was pretty much thinking that myself. I took a swig as well before passing the bottle back to Peter. That's my boy! Peter snapped his fingers to the music while going through the items in the room. It looked virtually unchanged since election night. Come on, have a look around. See if it doesn't bring back memories. Oh man. Trip down memory lane. Alright, quick squid break. Be right back. Okay, and we are back. What's in my old desk drawers? I walked over to my old desk and sat down on the squeaky chair and opened the top drawer. Inside, there were a few old coins, pencils, and sheets of paper. Underneath them, something caught my eye. It was a photograph of me and Monica, sitting under a tree. This must have been 10, 15 years ago. We looked so young and so happy. Monica would love to see this. Nice find. Look at baby Anton. You didn't even have your iconic look. I took the photograph and slid it into my jacket pocket. I walked over to the tower of storage boxes and opened one of them. In one of the storage boxes, I found a heavy object, wrapped safely. I unwrapped it. It was an emerald-colored statue of a goat, the symbol of Swordland. I remembered that this was a gift from Brenda, one of the 53 election campaign assistants. It would look good on my desk at the palace. Brenda, always sucking up to you. And where did it get her? Seriously, where? I have no idea where she ended up. I lifted the storage box with the statue in it and put it near the door so I could take it on the way out. I made my way to the gramophone and started flipping through the records next to it. I found one of my favorite albums ever, Mountains by Jeanette Gers, a set of plaintive folk songs that made me yearn for the countryside whenever I heard it. What a classic! You should mail that to Frank so he can learn what real music is. I pulled the record out and put it under my arm and placed it next to the door. Enough going through old stuff. Let's talk. Yes, all in good time. He gestured to the bottle he had in his hand. No, I'm good. Drink. I had one, Peter. I want to hear what you have to say. I don't think I'm going to drink more. No, I'm good. He shrugged, took a very big gulp out of the bottle, and staggered to the side afterwards. I know you, Peter. What are you hiding? Are you all right? Don't say anything. I know you, Peter. What are you hiding? Nothing. Let's go up to the roof. The view is always amazing from there. We went up the stairs to the roof. The view was mesmerizing. The buildings of Hullsword twinkled below us, while the stars shone bright in the sky. We sat and leaned back against the wall, taking it all in. Right as I was starting to get up, I heard a sobbing sound. I turned to Peter and saw tears stream down his cheeks. I've not yet seen a night sky beautiful enough to make Peter Fectorn cry. What's wrong? Pretend not to know. wiped the tears away and laughed. I messed up, man. I messed up big time. Evelyn's leaving me. She wants a divorce. I'm not surprised. You two have always had rough patches. I'm sure you'll kiss and make up. What the hell did you do? It's different this time. I've been sleeping with Livia Suno. Ah, that's all? You lucky man. I had a feeling about you two. You've been... what? Shit. What if this causes a scandal? I know. Mr. Secretary, I'm so sorry. It's just... Evelyn hasn't been the same since she lost her job, and Livia was giving me sultry looks from the day I hired her. You were away. I was drunk. One thing led to another. She's more than just a pretty girl, Anton. She's smart and kind. I think we really connected. No need to justify. Men will be men after all. How could you do this to me? I like her too. That doesn't mean I'd break my vows and risk a scandal for a bit of horizontal polo. Don't tell me you're going to run off with her. Horizontal polo, eh? I know, but we're ending things. I told her it's too unprofessional, and I want Evelyn back. Well, maybe I can speak to Evelyn and plead your case. It's too late. There is still a chance this could get out. I need to talk to Lucien. I still can't believe this. I had to have you both fired. Who else knows besides me and the three of you? Who else knows besides me and the three of you? Nobody, I swear. There was an edge of desperation in Peter's voice. He took another drink. How many years have we known each other? How many scrapes have we gotten ourselves out of? I can handle this myself. Just trust me. And don't bring anyone else into this. I turned to face my friend and vice president. The habits that had gotten him dubbed the bad boy of sordid politics when we were young were no longer so charming coming from a middle-aged man. Yet he was still a capable politician, and I couldn't ignore our long history together. All right, it's just an affair, and it's over at that. We can weather this. You've done enough damage. I will handle it myself. I will be blunt. You will fix this, or I will remove you from office. Fine. I'll do it myself. One? Really? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Anton. It means a lot to me. Don't worry. Mistakes happen. Anything for my best friend. Don't mention it. I mean it. Don't mention it. Don't talk about this shit. Without waiting for his reaction, I left the rooftop alone and made my way downstairs. On my way out, I grabbed my belongings and took one last look back at the office. It had been home to some happy memories for sure, but this visit had permanently cured me of any nostalgia. As soon as I arrived home, I headed up to my study, sat down, and stared at the telephone. Call Evelyn, call Lucien and tell him what happened. Trust Peter and call no one. Lucian's are Zhuge Liang, so I'm thinking 2. We're going with 2. I picked up the phone and dialed Lucian's number. He picked up very quickly. Yes, Mr. President. I told Lucien everything Peter had told me about himself, Evelyn, and Livia. Thank you for calling me, Mr. President. This serves to confirm some suspicions of my own. We have to meet. Tomorrow? Right now? What suspicions? I'd rather discuss this in person tomorrow morning in your office, early, before either of the 2 arrive. Don't bring this up with anyone else. I fear we may have more than a mere dalliance on our hands. The line dropped. I stared at the receiver, wondering what his last statement meant. What was going on that I didn't know about? I went to bed, but couldn't sleep at all. It was early in the morning after my talk with Peter. The sun was just beginning to peek over the horizon. The Maroon Palace was empty save for a few cleaning staff. I entered my office and to find Lucien already waiting for me. Mr. President, thank you for meeting with me at this hour. I couldn't sleep anyway. Very well. I'm pleased you chose to call me after your conversation with Mr. Vectorn last night, although I was already aware of his illicit relationship with Miss Suno. I figured as much. You do know everything that goes on in the palace, after all. Lucien smiled. On its own, given Mr. Vectorn's established reputation as something of a playboy, the affair is unlikely to cause much damage. However, a more troubling possibility has been brought to light. A recent conversation with Mr. Hailstone, a whistleblower from Rumbug, revealed the presence of a spy within the Bruin Palace. I believe Miss Suno is on board. She's been using her relationship with Mr. Vectorn to gather information. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. What? Tell me more. You're being paranoid, Lucien. That's preposterous. I can do better than that. I'll show you. Lucien reached into his coat pocket, pulled out an audio tape, and fed it into the reel-to-reel machine on my desk. This was recorded in the palace at 1809 on the second day of your trade visit to Valgsland. He pressed play, and I heard Peter and Olivia's voices. You're sure everyone's gone for the day? Relax, Liv. You don't have to bend over backwards for my pal Anton tonight. Only me. Olivia giggled. I heard the sound of kissing, then of drinks being poured. I missed you, Benfi. Did he tell you why he decided not to make a deal with Lesbia or Valgsland? He's not interested in forming any alliances? Yes. Something about staying as neutral as possible. Although even Yosef is saying we should find allies to deter Rumsburg. It seems like we still got a shot with the superpowers, at least. We've opened 2 new lines of communication with Ventry City and Kyo. Just exploratory talks at this point, but they might lead to something deeper. And speaking of something deeper, Miss Suno. Lucien grimaced and switched the tape off. That's it. That's your damning evidence. This is indeed cause for concern. Curious that about foreign relations doesn't make one a spy. And then what happened? I'm glad you agree. No, it's not all. I found a resume on file, and there's a year-long gap between her finishing secretarial school and beginning her career. Normally, this would have been looked into, but Miss Suno was hired before a background check could be completed. By one Peter Vector. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Olivia opened it cautiously. Good morning, Mr. President. Mr. Glad. I didn't realize you'd be in so early. Can I get you some coffee? I stayed silent. Lucien finally spoke up. Please, have a seat, Miss Suno. Olivia sat. She looked puzzled. Is something the matter? Enough pretending. Your secret is out. I I'm not so sure what you're talking about. Come on, Livia. Peter already told me everything. You know perfectly well. Livia, Lucien has evidence. Livia buried her face in her hands. I'm so sorry, Mr. President. I was foolish. And Peter was so nice to me, but it's over now. Nobody ever needs to know. That's not what the President means, Miss Suno. We're referring to you being an intelligence agent for Rumburg. Livia sat upright. She looked shocked. Pardon me, Mr. Glade? Are you feeling all right? No, he isn't. You'll have to excuse him. I know it sounds ridiculous to me as well. Don't play dumb, Livia, if that is your real name. He's fine. What do you have to say for yourself? Mr. President, I understand if you don't want me to keep my job, but why smear me with outlandish accusations? Isuno, indulge me for a moment. What were you doing in the year 1951? Livia's face flushed. If you must know, I was working as a cigarette girl at Porto's. It's a La Caven saloon. I was saving up so I could afford my own place, and Wholesword is the proprietor's number if you need to double check. She scribbled a telephone number on a piece of paper. Lucien snatched it up. But why have you been asking me so many questions about what I do? And why were you asking Peter about my alliances? Why were you so eager to help David back in Benfey? To tell the truth, Mr. Rain, I was hoping to run for office myself someday. I want to make a real difference in the world like Miss Morgana or Miss Walda. But I guess I missed that up by getting involved with Peter. Now they're all just going to say I slept my way to the top. And you're questioning Peter about Swordland's proposed alliance? I told you Wait, how do you know about that? There was a loud pounding on the door. Peter barged in without waiting for an answer. He was unshaven and wore the same clothes as the night before. I came as soon as I heard the three of you were in here, Anton. What the hell are you doing? I told you I had this under control. Sit down and shut up. I'm pretty goddamn sure she's a spy. And if she's not a spy, she's being worked by somebody who is. Peter took a seat on the far end of the sofa. He looked over at Livia and noticed her troubled expression. God, why involve her? This is my mess. She did nothing wrong. Well, there's a small chance she could be a spy. Lucien has the preposterous idea that she's a spy. She's a spy, Peter. You messed up big time. What? I have reason to believe she's been relaying information to Rumburg. Information that you leaked to her in your carelessness. Lucian rewound his tape and played it again. As Peter listened, his eyes widened in disbelief. Lucian, you rat bastard! You've been bugging my office! Obviously, for a good reason. Lucian, is this true? Or could you? I'm sure there's an explanation for this. Both Peter and Livia were glaring at Lucian now. He looked unrepentant. I noticed the vice president's behavior becoming increasingly erratic and unprofessional over the past months. Wanted to get to the root of the cause. So you wiretaped your own goddamn colleague, and for what? Have you been getting off on this, you pervert? Certainly not. I believe that along with the Rumberg whistleblower's admission, there's a spy in the palace, and certain gaps in Miss Suno's resume, this tape makes a compelling case to investigate the secretary for espionage. Whether or not the investigation yields positive results, Mr. Vecton ought to be held accountable for his willingness to divulge such sensitive information. He ought to stand trial, or, at the very least, resign. Peter's jaw dropped. Livia stood up. If I may, Mr. President, I've been paying attention to what goes on in the palace, not because I'm some sort of agent, but out of genuine interest. Hard as that may be for you to believe, Mr. Gallade. She scowled at Lucian, then turned back to me. And from what I've seen, this man has been attempting to undermine your vice president at every turn. Perhaps with the goal of replacing Peter himself. Of course you'd say that. Peter's your lover. That's ridiculous. I would never make Lucian vice president. Nonsense. Lucian's been nothing but loyal. That actually makes a lot of sense. Lucian's my guy. I can't talk shit about Lucian. Loyal to you, it's true. He could never stand me. Lucian frowned. My personal misgivings about Mr. Vecton aside, I would never do anything to harm this administration. Mr. Vecton, on the other hand, has at best committed adultery and, at worst, delivered state secrets straight into enemy hands. Who could I believe? Lucian, can I speak to you alone for a moment? Peter, Livia, out, now! Peter and Livia, please wait outside while I try to talk some sense into Lucian. Peter and Livia exchanged worried glances before exiting my office. What are you going to do, Mr. President? I believe you. We should investigate Livia. You're the strategist here. You make the call. Honestly, I'd fire you for surveilling Peter. I'm not investigating my own secretary. I won't play into your hands. So 4 is a no. 3, no. So we ask him what he wants to do, or we investigate Livia. I'm assuming they're both the same thing, so I'm gonna go with one. I believe you. We should investigate Livia. Lucian breathed a sigh of relief. I appreciate your trust in me. And Mr. Vector, what will you do about his willingness to compromise Swordsland security at the drop of a pencil skirt? Peter did what any man would. Could understand if he weren't a workaholic. Wow! Okay, that's fucked up. One is out. I'll settle that with him personally. I think it goes above that. I'll decide that once we have the results. Probably 2 here. Option 4 is for Gestapo. Very well. Just keep in mind that you may need him to shoulder the blame for this. Lucian adjusted his tie. I'll apologize to Miss Suno and tell her this has all been a misunderstanding. We can't have her running away during the investigation. Thank you. No, I'll do it myself. She's too suspicious of you. Fine, but I'm warning you. Don't spy on your colleagues ever again. Very well, sir. Lucian gave a slight bow as he left the office. I sat by myself for a while, wondering what exactly I'd set into motion. Several days had passed since I ordered the investigation into my secretary, Livia Suno. Both Peter and Olivia had been acting unnaturally nice to me, believing I'd let them off the hook for their affair. They seemed to be avoiding each other in the hallways, though. I was just settling in behind my desk when Lucian knocked on my door. Sir, a moment of your time. course. Lucian entered my office and closed the door behind him. Our security team traveled to Lock Haven to speak to the owners of the pub Miss Suno named. They confirmed that one Olivia Suno had worked there. Their description of her did not match that of your secretary. However, it did match that of an unidentified corpse that washed up in Lenkirk Bay 2 months before your inauguration. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, 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 oh. You mean, if that was Olivia Suno, who's the woman working for me? Oh shit. Are you sure about this? Further investigation by operatives in Rumburg matched Miss Suno's description to a woman named Ilana Vance, last seen graduating from Crimsard Political Sciences Institute. A whistleblower from Rumburg recognized the name Vance as belonging to a deeply embedded covert agent, although he had previously assumed it was a man. How could we have missed all this? That lying, two-faced succubus! You should have figured this out ages ago! My God, you were right. I should have never doubted you. As mentioned, Miss Suno was hired without a background check. It's possible that this all could have been avoided had any of Mr. Vecturn's blood flow been directed to his brain when he selected her. But none of that can be helped now. The question is, what are you going to do, sir? Arrest her for espionage, of course. What do you think I should do? What do you mean? I'm gonna murder them both. What? 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 I'm gonna have Peter castrated. I wouldn't be opposed to that idea. But I meant with regards to our spy. The standard procedure would be to try Masuno for espionage. If we do so, it's only a matter of time before the media places together what happened. I'll look like a fool for having under my nose the entire time. Outwitted by a woman, it won't look good. What if there were no trial? That's why you must let Mr. Victim take the fall. I know his actions were problematic. This is my fault as much as his. I should have suspected something. No, I told you, Peter did nothing wrong. I know you think you'd be a better vice president, but enough is enough. Problematic is an understatement. Mr. Vecton put you in danger by failing to order a background check on your closest personal staff. He betrayed your confidence to a woman with whom he was committing adultery. And on. Would you do the same to your so-called best friend? No. I wouldn't. For a woman I loved, maybe I would. I don't know. I can't put myself in his shoes. Lucian sighed. I am a chief strategist. I have advised you on what I believe is the best strategy. But of course, the ultimate decision is yours. Alright, here will be our scapegoat. I will shoulder the blame along with him. I will blame Ilana, and nobody else. There's no good choices here, are there? Well, all right. Peter will be our scapegoat. Very well. I shall write a statement for you to read at the press conference. I'll leave you to handle Miss Vance. With pleasure. Lucian nodded and walked out. Damn, you really floored your best friend. I called Carl Greaser from my desk and explained the situation. After a few minutes, I rang for Olivia. She entered my office. Is there something you need, Mr. President? You tell me, Ilana. It's been a pleasure working with you, Olivia. Yes, I need you to stop pretending. Please, sit down. A barely perceptible flash of fear crossed her face. She sat. Why did you call me in here, sir? I nodded toward my office doorway. Carl Greaser was standing there along with two of his guards, blocking the entrance. Ilana Vance, you are under arrest on suspicion of espionage. Please, come with me. Her eyes darted around the room. What the hell is going on, Mr. President? Have you let Lucien get to your head? I thought you were smarter than that. You're going to pay for your lies, Ilana. You're going to pay for the way you used Peter. I'm sorry it had to come to this. If you thought I wouldn't trust my closest advisor, you're the stupid one. Carl's men grabbed her arms and began dragging her out. No! You can't do this to me! Peter, hearing her cries, rushed out of his office. Liv! What in the hell? Anton, what's going on? Her name's Ilana. Lucien was right about her. She's a spy. She was using you all along, Peter. Olivia, tell Peter who you really are. Say nothing. No, that can't be true. Can it, Liv? I won't say another word without a lawyer present. She looked Peter square in the eye. Except this. You're a sad old drunk and a lousy lay. Honestly, if I were a Rumberg spy, I'd barely have to do a thing. You two have Swordland ripe for the taking. She straightened up and ran a hand through her curls and allowed Carl to lead her away. Peter sank to the floor in front of me. Anton, what the hell just happened? I'll tell you in my office. Feel free to take a moment first. Once Peter was in my office, I shut the door and explained everything Lucien had told me about Olivia. And you believed him? Well, better to safe than sorry, especially after what she called me. At least we finally have this ordeal behind us. Let's get on with the running of the country, shall we? Actually, I have to tell you something. Yes, let's. Yes, let's, but first a drink. Oh man. After him doing that with me, this would be such turnabout. Cinematically, this would actually be this would actually be a very cinematic moment. Like imagining Suzerain as a movie, you know. So there's that scene with Peter, you know, and he gives us a drink, and then, you know, we have that. Now it would be like, sit down, Peter. Have a drink. And you know shit's going down. I'm thinking one. I have to tell you something, Peter. Yeah, what is it? I want you to resign. Lucien wants you to resign. You look like shit. Why don't you take the rest of the day off? One? I'm thinking one. want you to resign. Peter looked up at me. His expression was numb. I guess I deserve this, don't I? Yes. Your philandering put all of us in danger. No, but we needed someone to take the fall for this scandal, or the administration suffers. God damn, two is an awful answer. Holy shit. He exhaled slowly. I could see tears in his eyes. I'm so sorry, Anton. I was never cut out for this job. It was fun while it lasted. You really weren't. But at least you got a nice house out of the deal. You did great. Swordland is just not ready for a vice president like you yet. Sure was, old buddy. You'll have some time before the news goes public. I suggest you get your affairs in order. Stay for a drink. Two. I'm thinking two. One last drink with our best bud. Without waiting for him to answer, I poured some whiskey into our glass. Peter grabbed the bottle instead. To new beginnings! He drained a third of the bottle in one long swig, then got to his feet and unsteadily made his way to the door. I knew this was for the best, but I hoped my friend would be all right. Damn it, Peter. No! No, Peter, why? The morning sunlight streamed through the windows as Lucian and I entered the White Room. I sat down. Lucian remained standing. I'm afraid I won't be able to join your meetings today, sir. The business surrounding the Livia Suno affair is taking up all of my time at the moment. He dropped the thick folder in front of me. I was hoping to go over the day's agenda with you before your cabinet members began arriving, but duty calls. He walked out. I took a look at the folder in front of me, then at the coffee carafe in the corner of the room. I walked over and poured myself a cup. I wondered when my new secretary would start work. Internal affairs was first on the list of items. Lilius and Nia, along with their close staff, joined me around the table. Lilius cast an eye around the room. No new secretary yet. I hope this means Miss Pseudo's replacement is getting an extremely thorough background check. Needless to say, such an egregious breach of security should be met with harsh consequences. But you know that already. Shall we begin? Yes, please do. I hope you've got only good news for me. Tell me, what's been going on in Bersha? Mr. President, I want to congratulate you again on your historic accomplishment for Bloods in Swordland. Thank you for approving my plans for the revocation of the special zone. Nia averted her gaze. The internal security structure of Persia has already been dismantled. Part of the local forces will be integrated into the Swordish police force. The governor position has been abolished. In the next election, each town will elect its own mayor as does the rest of Swordland. And now you, Miss Graf, have complete control over the region's security. As I should, Miss Morgna. I am the Minister of the Interior, after all. In any case, now that the governor is gone, this will hopefully prove to be a huge step for Blutish rights in the region. Of course, the Unified Language Act is creating a lot of resentment within the Blutish communities who want to choose their own language in education. I'm sorry, you come to Swordland, you fucking speak Swordish. You want to speak Blutish? You can stay in Blutia. Get the fuck out of here. This is certainly a point of contention. What are you trying to say, Miss Morgna? Frankly, I'm disappointed in your lack of faith in the administration. I hear your concerns. Thank you for the report. Of course. We'll keep it brief. I think that will be all for our Internal Affairs update. I gathered their documents. See you later, Mr. President. They took their entourage and left the room. Simon came in shortly afterwards. Mr. President, where's the Vice President today? He is thinking very hard about what he did wrong. I don't know. Have you seen him? That's confidential, Mr. Hall. Understood. Simon's expression remained unchanged as he sat down to face me. I just wanted to provide you with a few updates on the economy. You may have noticed that the government budget is in need of a boost. My ministry is therefore working on a bill that will increase the tax on tobacco products from 10 to 30%. A similar bill is being drafted to introduce a 20% tax on alcohol. In addition to bringing in needed revenue, the new laws would curb excessive drinking and smoking in Swordland. Very good. Those are nasty vices anyway. We can't tax people's booze and cigarettes. There'd be riots in the streets. Interesting initiatives, but would the income we receive be worth the harm to Swordish businesses? Ordinarily, I'd advise against this kind of thing, but with our budget dipping into the red, any measure that would reverse our deficit is worth considering. Especially since our income from tourism is on the decline. Our investment in cultural preservation failed to produce the intended effect, it seems. That's disappointing to hear. Who wouldn't want to visit Sword? It's the best country in the world. To be fair, I never understood why anyone would want to vacation in Swordland. Villespia is right there. There was a knock on the door. Gus Manger strolled in and grabbed a seat. Mr. President, Simon. Some excitement around the palace lately, I've heard. That's how it is around here. A new adventure every day. Don't worry about it, Gus. Focus on your job. There should be a lesson to everyone. Double-cross me, and you'll pay the price. The real excitement is yet to come, believe me. What the hell is that double-cross line? That's how it is around here. A new adventure every day. You can say that again. Anyway, you both know how revitalizing the Grui region has always been my pet project of sorts. Well, I'm sad to say that despite my ministry's best efforts, we're going to have to close the books on this project. Close the books, Mr. Manga? What does that mean? It means that without a massive injection of funding, the economic growth I had hoped to see in the region is simply not going to happen during this term. What could have been a beacon of success for Swordland is turning into a cesspool of crime, unemployment, and homelessness. Perhaps this wouldn't have happened if you had focused as much attention on Gurney as you have on your side ventures. God damn. God damn, really. You can't just give up. I know how much Gurney means to you. I knew it from the beginning. It made no sense to try to turn Gurney into something it wasn't. Okay, so 3 and 1 are shit answers, so I'm gonna have to go with 2. Not just to me, Mr. President. It's the breadbasket of this nation. I still believe it's brimming with untapped potential. It saddens me to no end to see it go to waste. Try to calm down, Gus. The President makes decisions on behalf of the entire country, not only your home region. The door to the White Room opened slowly, and David made his way in. Oh, hello, gentlemen. I'm early again, aren't I? Not to worry, Mr. Wishi. We've just about wrapped things up. Simon and Gus rose from their seats and left the room. After the door closed, David regarded me for a second. His blue eyes seemed to see right through me. My ministry was notified about the Rumburgian infiltrator. This is a very delicate situation, Anton. What's delicate about it? They sent us a sex spy. They'll have to answer for it. I understand. Our relations with Rumburg were precarious enough before this. You don't have to tell me that. Please understand, the tensions between Swordland and Rumburg have not eased. Quite the contrary. As you might imagine, our decision to grant asylum to the whistleblower Mr. Hailstone did not sit well within the kingdom. An incident such as this might serve as a tipping point. Place too much blame on Rumberg and we may lose our chance at reconciliation. Bringing Rumberg to justice for what's done is far more important than reconciliation. You're right as usual. The last thing we want is a war on our hands. A compromise in the name of greater good may spare countless lives. I'll leave you to it, Anton. I know you've got a lot on your plate. It's always a pleasure, David. Thanks for your brevity. Have a good day. We'll talk soon. David left the White Room, gently closing the door behind him. Whoo, boy. I love this game. I fucking love this game so much. Well, we are past the 90-minute mark. We are approaching the 2-hour mark. So, you know, I don't do the long streams. It is about that time. So, rip in pepperoni, my boy. We tried so much. Peter, why could you not just keep it in your fucking pants? Hi, bye. Yeah, what a time to pop in. What a time to pop in. Just long enough for the hello goodbyes. Peter, why, my dude? Why? Peter, why? Let's just hope he doesn't oofs himself over this. God damn it, Peter. Damn it, Peter. But yeah. That's a good enough point to end off on. As always, thank you everyone for showing up in the chat, whether you're here for a minute or hours, whether you're here for the lives or the VODs. Heck, we don't even discriminate against skinwalkers. That's why Bruin is still allowed to be part of the chat. God, this game's great though. I love it. So, without any further ado, you know what time it is. I'll see y'all out there and take her easy. Whatever you do.